All right, we're live.
We're live.
Yeah, I went live fast because I only have an hour. So,
Yeah, I only have an hour to 55 minutes actually. Let's do this. So, what's going on, man?
well, for one, I am digging focus blocks. Holy crap!
I love it.
Oh my gosh, so handy. I'm getting up at like 4 a.m. to get like 3 of them in. I usually spend one just making sure that my team has everything that they need, and then just to get that stuff out of the way because I wind up if I don't get it done, then it's just a problem. And then I'll spend part of that time like doing some kind of automation or something, in Zapier or something like that for the rest of that hour. And then I've been spending time just working on that landing page, just kind of I haven't changed anything on it yet, but just working on ideas on the headline and things like that. I've looked at a bunch of other stuff. I'm seriously considering actually putting together. I've looked at a couple of different structures for a video sales letter to put on it, and I think that may convert. I'm also looking at doing it in such a way to where I essentially qualify people on it and tell them, look, if you're not willing to, invest in this and you're not willing to do this, then, and then instead of having them enter their email address there, actually just have the button to schedule the sales call and just see if I can get better conversion just going straight at it. I don't know. I am going back and forth on that. Or have them
Usually,
apply. I don't know.
getting the email address is the fastest route because once you have the email address, you can always follow up. Because all those email addresses that you have sitting in the database, you haven't had calls with all of them.
No, that's true. That's true.
You should just send an email to them. Hey, how come you haven't scheduled a call yet?
I should.
Go here to schedule a call. All right.
Yeah, I have
So
also
something like that.
considered. Yeah, I've also considered reaching out to the people who, all the people who have filled in their email address or filled out the application. Yeah. The other thing that I've thought about is reaching back out to the people who have applied, who I have had a call with, and just say, hey, look, I've fine-tuned the process. Do you want to get on another call?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, shit, your best, like the highest money producing activity is more strategy calls, more
Yeah.
calls. Like that's where you make all the money. So anything
Yeah.
you can do to make more calls or to get people on more calls is going to be a winner in
Right.
your space. That's
So
the way to
that's
think about it.
Yeah. So that's the way I'm kind of thinking about it. I could just have it so that they enter their email address and it immediately says, hey, and that's what it does anyway, I guess, is it just says, hey, here's where to go to apply. And it could just say, hey, here's where to go to get on the call.
Mhm.
Right. And then it could, when they schedule the call, then it could say, hey, to
So
make the
there,
most of the call, I could get, can you give me more information and then take them to the form? I
there's
don't
a,
know.
I mean, there's a tried and true proven methodology to this. So don't change things that have already been known to work. First of which is
Yeah.
having the lead magnet, like having the first page, which is just to get people's name and email address. That page should
Yeah.
convert at 40 to 50% to your warm traffic. So that is
Oh,
what you
hang
need to
on, hang
do.
on, hang on. Though, because you just said lead magnet. There's no lead magnet.
Not lead magnet. I mean, lead conversion page, basically what you
Yeah.
call landing page. Your
Yeah.
landing page should convert at 40% right now
Yeah.
to your warm traffic. If you are making the right call to action and they're showing up on the landing page, it
Yeah.
should convert at 40 to 50% so that you can get in there.
Uh-huh.
And, so that's step one of this process. Don't try to
If
change that process to anything else because this is a proven methodology in
yeah.
coaching field.
Yeah,
And the
but
reason
if
why we want to get their email addresses before anything else is because people will if you just present them, hey, schedule a call, first of all, you don't know what their truth is. You don't know how good their application
Yeah.
is or anything
No,
like
that's
that.
true.
So scheduling a call is just, you know, you get random ass
Yeah.
people on it. The other is if you present them with an application to schedule a call, they're going to be like, oh shit, 10 questions. All right, I'll come back to it later. And they'll never come back to it.
Yeah.
So
What
unless you have a
the
way to follow up with them, you're screwed in that case.
Yeah, one thing that I'm wondering though is if that 40% number you keep throwing at me is a 40% number if I offer them some kind of lead magnet, right?
No, 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 no. It should be so compelling. The headline should be so compelling that people are like, oh shit, I want this.
Yeah, but should it be something so compelling that it's like, I want this, I'm gonna get a PDF or something
No,
that's
no.
gonna
I like learn how to do this. Like if you can call out the specific pain point of that audience and say, I will show you how to go from here to here, apply. And if you've already pre-framed
yeah,
them in the podcast episode, right?
yeah,
There's nothing more to sell to them. Like
right.
there's nothing more to sell in that situation because they've been pre-framed. They're coming here from the podcast episode. They've already heard the part of the story. They already heard like, oh,
Yeah.
yes, this, and this.
Yeah, I'm
And
doing that. It's the issue is just I'm still not seeing the conversion numbers. So
yeah, what are the conversion numbers you're seeing? Have you changed the headline though? Because the headline
no.
by itself is the most important piece. That's why
Yeah, I
your
know.
conversions.
I'm still noodling that one, but I haven't been able to come up with anything that I think is going to work any better.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. That's part of the
Yeah.
process. There's no
Yeah.
other way out of it. Because if you can't convey what they like, if you can't convey what you're selling, then your words die on your lips, right?
Yeah.
Because if you can't get that message across, then how will people ever know what you're selling?
Yeah.
And how will people ever buy into what you're selling?
Yep. All right. Well, anyway, but yeah, just getting on the focus blocks has been awesome because yeah, it's nice. You just sit down and you just go to town.
It's so
And
good, right? And
yeah, there's some stuff that I've been needing to get done, and it's like, all right, well, that got done.
I love it. Yeah, it's hard to explain to people on the outside why it's so useful until you get in there and you
Yeah.
experience the power of it. Like I think on one call, both you and I, John and I were there, right? Or all three of us were on the call.
I haven't seen John on there yet.
I've seen John multiple times now.
Okay.
And John's been like talking about the same thing, like he's getting more done than he anticipated in that hour because of that. There's something really fascinating about just sitting and like the big difference between what happens when you're trying to work by yourself and what happens with focus blocks is still like I'm still trying to understand like how do what's your experience, like what was work like before focus blocks when you were trying to do these things compared to now when you're sitting through a focus block?
Well, there were a couple of things. One was that I would be sitting there and then right.
Your phone is, yeah, cracking.
Or the other thing is that I would sit down and I'd be like, I'm gonna work on this now. And
Uh-huh.
then I'd work on it until I'd get distracted by something, right? I didn't have a set amount of time that I'd be working on something was the other thing. So yeah, there were a couple of things like that.
So previously when you were doing before focus blocks, when you were working, you'd work on something for a bit
Mm-hmm.
and then distraction, something
Yeah,
else. No, basically no intentionality to the work, right?
right. And so now I sit down and I go, okay, I'm gonna get this done, right?
When you're in the
And
focus
so
block.
yeah. And the thing is like that's the other thing is I would just work on it until I got bored with it, basically. And
Mhm.
now I work on there. There have been a couple of things where I sit down and I'll work on it till it's done, and then it's like, I got 10 minutes left in this hour. And so I actually go start something else that I needed to get done.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you get maximum use of that hour in that hour. And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting challenge
Yeah.
now to like grow that damn thing. We're like 100 users nearly.
Yeah. But we need to, because I think I can sell the living crap out of this now. We need to do that bonus
Yeah, now
episode.
that you understand exactly what happens inside of it, now you're so much more like, okay, I know exactly what's happening inside, so we can talk about it ad nauseum because now we can be
Yeah.
very clear about how it benefits, especially like a software developer, like a freelancer who's
Uh-huh.
working by himself at home. God dang,
Yeah.
man, they need something like this because they are like, as soon as they run into a problem and they're trying to solve a software problem, they're like, oh, okay, let me go run and get some cake from my fridge rather than sitting around and solving the problem. So yeah,
Yep.
software developers need this more than anything else. Software developers, writers, people of all creative kinds. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, your audience is primed for something like this. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, and not even just on the software and the things, but um
Entrepreneurship.
yeah, it I mean, just anybody honestly that needs to get crap done.
Yeah.
But for me, what I mean, I would even just sell it to people and just be like, look, if you know, for because the thing that I'm talking to people about and the thing that people come to me about, it's not even how do I get more work done at work or how do I get more code written or anything like that.
Mhm.
Um, it's usually down to, by the way, I saw somebody on there that I think I referred, and I don't see any commissions for focus blocks. So I'm gonna have to go bust his balls. Um,
Who was that person?
Eric Bolakowski, he's one of my podcast hosts.
Oh, the reason I'm not sure why. You need to, I mean, we could talk about it. I need to go take a look because he's been a customer of 2000 books for a while. So he may not have,
Oh, it could be.
he may have already been like sold before
It
you,
could be.
right?
No, I'm just gonna give him a hard time for not using my affiliate link is all.
Oh, yeah. If you didn't use your affiliate link, I'm sorry. Because then,
No, it's fine.
yeah.
Because yeah, he could have bought it off your list if that's the case.
Yeah, he's been a
Anyway,
customer. He's already bought a bunch of our stuff in the past.
yeah,
So
he
he probably,
probably picked it up off of some of the other stuff because yeah, he's a recent host and he's been a listener for a while. Anyway, but anyway, so I have people coming to me and they're like, well, hey, how do I get better at stuff, right? How do I, and sometimes it's how do I get this specific outcome at work, right? So,
Mhm.
and I just did a bonus episode on this and I tied it all back to the dev influencer stuff. I'm like, look, so it's three things. It's skills, it's relationships, and it's recognition
Mm.
or reputation, however you want to look at the third one. But so my solution to relationships and reputation is podcasting, right?
Mm.
Because you bring the people you want the relationships with onto your show and then you talk about the things you want your reputation to be about, right? And that solves that problem,
Mm.
within a few months it solves that problem. um but for the skills you want to have, right? Yeah, you sit down and I mentioned this in the dev influencer show. I was like, look, I was like, by the way, guys, the affiliate link is devchat.tv/focus.
All right.
um
If you
right,
want
and
to
I
go
just
direct,
mentioned that in the episode, right? And I was like, look, I've been doing I've been using this product called focus blocks, and yes, Manny's a good friend of mine, but holy cow, is this like the miracle cure, right? So you just go sign up for a focus block for every day, and if you put one in and you focus it on the skills that you need to have,
Mhm.
then the next trick is you put in either an extra focus block or you use one of your focus blocks per week to sit down and say, where am I at? Where am I trying to get to? And what skills do I need to close the gap? Right. And you plan out what the other focus blocks are going to be during the week. And that's your plan, right? To get those skills.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, or you can't find the place to learn those skills, then you hire a coach. In fact, you probably ought to do that anyway, right? And I
Yeah.
tied that back too, right? To, hey, like the accelerator, right? So if you're trying to build the relationships and build your reputation, you're trying to do that through podcasting, I'm your coach, right?
Mhm.
But yeah. And so but that's the idea. Because it's a no-brainer. And at the price, it's a double no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, okay. So I get in and they tell me when to start, they tell me when to stop. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
And off
It's
I
all
go.
ritualized. Basically,
Yeah.
all the work stuff that you know and I know and everyone out there knows, like these are the best productivity
Mm-hmm.
habits and routines and rituals and best practices. The whole world knows about those things. The whole world doesn't do that shit. So
Yeah.
what focus blocks is basically ritualized behavior, like literally saying, okay, we're gonna come together, we're gonna sit together, and we're gonna follow this best practice with a guide, basically a live human being
Uh-huh.
guiding through the whole process, right? In the first 5 minutes, saying, we're gonna do, we go through that specific structure, the ritual of
Right.
building that focus, like getting that deep flow, deep work conditions started, simulated in some ways to start the work. So you just show up and you get into the zone of work and you work like a crazy man for that sprint. And it's fascinating how, like, just showing up there changes the game so much in terms of what you accomplish compared to when you're sitting by yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's not just even, I mean, that's what focus blocks does for you, is you just show up, but it keeps you committed to that hour. That's
Mhm.
the other part of it, right? Because you show up, you're on the Zoom, you turn your camera on. And so, I mean, I don't even want to get up and walk away and go to the bathroom, because I don't feel like the focus guide's going to call me out. Oh, Charles got up. Where's Charles going? It's only 6:40. It's not even an hour. But I'm like, you know, hey, everybody else here is sticking to their hour, right? And that's enough for me to go, I can hold it for 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. So yeah, it's that much. It's just enough for me to do it and commit to it. So
Yeah, it's very subtle, that accountability, it seeps in so
mhm,
many different elements of your work, right? What you're saying, like you were not going to get out of your chair to do something.
yeah,
Similarly, you're not going to open your email client or your Skype or all of those things because there's this subtle, like, thing in your background, because we've already talked about that. We've already created that initial expectation. But also when you're working, you have that, like, awareness that, no, I'm not going there right now, I'm just doing this.
right,
And it's because of the community, it's because you're sitting there with everyone on the call, so you're like hyper aware of what you're working on. It's like a very high level of what I would call uh, um, intentionality you bring to work as a result of the community that's there with you to do the work.
mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah,
But yeah, so that's been really powerful.
I love it,
So
man.
yeah, it's been terrific for me. And yeah, it's also been funny because, like, your focus guides, at least for the last few days, have seen me like before and after. So when I'm focused on work, I'm just working. But before and after the meeting, I'm like rubbing my shoulder or rubbing my neck. And it's not because I've been sitting there. Um, Part of my routine is I get up at 4, and I read my scriptures, and then I read my business book. I can't find it. It's been driving me nuts. Like the focus block, like before and after. They haven't said anything, but I've been like looking all over my desk, like, where did it go? Because I couldn't find it this morning. Um, but because I listened to the book and it was so good. It's Who Not How. That I've
Yeah, that's
actually
a good
been
one.
reading the physical book, because I'm
Good
like
one.
I've got to just this has got to like seep into my awareness, so that
Hmm.
because I am building out this team. um and Anyway, so yeah, I've just been working through it. But I read my business book and then I go work out. And I joined a swim team that
Nice.
gets together Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 a.m. And so I
Oof.
went on Wednesday, even though I'm supposed to be on a taper for the marathon tomorrow. I
Ah.
didn't think it would be as hard as it was, but my shoulders and neck have been really stiff.
Oh
So
my
Thursday
God.
and Friday. And so I'm rubbing my shoulders, and a couple of them have been like, yeah, Charles he really needs to stretch his neck because he's just been working so hard. And I'm like, no, Charles went and had his butt kicked by a swim coach, but whatever.
Oh man, that's so funny. How many, like, what time are you starting? Because I don't usually start until 6 a.m. Some days 5, but mostly 6.
So yesterday and today I got on at 5 a.m. Mountain Time, which is 4 a.m. Pacific Time. So
Oh, okay.
I've
Nice.
done a couple before you get on, and then you're usually on for the last one or two that I do before I jump off.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. How many have you done so far? Like 10 maybe total, or even 5?
Let me pull up my calendar. So this week I have done, let's see, I did 3 today, I did 3 yesterday. No, 2 yesterday. I did 1 the day before. I did a couple last week too, I think.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah. But it's awesome. So I'm really getting into it because it's just been really nice. And I do it before my kids are out of bed, and I mean, so there's nothing going on. I think one of my kids tried to come in yesterday while I was on one, and I was just like, I'm in a meeting, get out.
Ah, perfect. You're like, you need
Right?
your
Because
own focus
they
block.
see a face on my screen and they're just like, okay.
It is for some people that's the perfect thing, right? They're like, it's a meeting with other people, so please don't disturb
Yeah.
me during this hour. And then it just creates the conditions, the ideal conditions for you to be able to get into flow, to do
Mm-hmm.
your best work, to remove all distractions, to remove all notifications, everything. It's like, okay, now
Yeah.
I can just zone in and just get shit done. It's like one of the participants, one of our members, she says, earlier when I was working, I used to need so much willpower and motivation to sit through and grind through something like my work. But now when I'm in a focus block, I don't need all that motivation
Mm-hmm.
and willpower, because all I need to do is show up, and magically work just starts to happen when I'm inside a focus block. And
Yeah.
it's probably the experience of a lot of people. It's like you just turn off that need for motivation and willpower. You just show up and work starts
Yeah.
to happen.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. But I mean, I could sit here and talk about this all day. I mean, as far as anything else going on with me, I contacted, so I still owe a couple more people back pay with devchat.tv. It looks like DigitalOcean is going to pay me out for some sponsorship, and between the recurring income that I'm getting from the coaching and then them, I work things out with Michelle. She's the only person I have left besides Michelle. That's funny. The two people I owe are Michelle and Michelle. So one of them is my sister, Michelle, and she's just like, whatever. She's having a baby at the end of July, and she's like, as long as you pay me by the time I have the baby, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
My sister, and so I'm just gonna pay her half in June, half in July, and then we're done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Did
not
you
a
get
ton.
any? Did you get any new signups for the coaching?
Um, I had one sign up last week. He's in France, and that was one of the major roadblocks for a couple of other people that I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
reach back out to. And so I'm going to start a second group because he's my 7th or 8th person in that on that call. And so I'm going to follow up with a bunch of people in Europe and say, hey, the 11 p.m. or midnight thing or whatever was kind of a deal killer for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump on another call. Let's make sure it's still a good fit. Let's see where you're at now and just, iron out any details. And I'll see if I can sell a couple more. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'll probably drop another call in the morning, my time, which
Mm-hmm.
puts it at like 5 p.m. his time. It puts it right after work his time. And there was a guy in Sweden. There was another guy in Germany. Anyway, it's a really good time for them, and they sounded like it was a good it was good timing for them with their careers. And so if I can make it land with a
Yeah,
couple of them, I
I
think
think
we can
if
pull that
timing
out,
is
and I
the
might be
issue,
able to.
that's the
Yeah.
easy way. That's an easy one to solve with an additional
It,
hour.
it also is a good reason for me to follow up with them. It sounded
Mm.
like this was one of the reasons why you didn't sign up. So can I follow up with you?
Yeah, the other thing you want to
Um,
start doing, like how big is that list become now of people who are prospects but haven't signed up for the call, signed up for the program yet?
so there are 36 people who filled in the application. I've got about what is it, like 55 people who just filled in their name and email address on the
And out of
form,
those 36 filled in the application,
something like that. Yeah.
that's a pretty good conversion on the from number of emails to number of people applying. That means they are
Yeah.
super interested in that. That's actually very good, I would say.
Yeah. So I'm going to go do some follow up with those other people that didn't fill in the application and just see what's going on there.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if I can shake a handful of people out of those.
Yeah, you should send an email to those 55.
But I also told those folks, I've been telling everybody, I was like, look, when I get to 10, I'm going full price. I'm going full $1,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the other thing I can do is I can go and hit all these people and just say, hey, look, right now I'm at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever signs up now is getting the discounted price, and then I'm going to $1,000,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get you in, let's get you rolling, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
opening up the European time group, right? So there's no reason not to do it.
So get them on a call again is what I would do.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna just
Mhm.
make sure that it's still a good fit. It's still in line with where they want to go. And then I'm gonna pitch it to them one more time, and then we'll see where it
Mhm.
goes.
Yeah.
And then hopefully I can fill those 10 in. But if I have 10 people paying uh, be- between 600 and 750 bucks a month, I mean that's a good chunk of change coming in every month.
Agree
Um,
100%.
the other thing is that I mean I've got these folks. I've got 2 of them that have launched shows. I've got a couple people that are getting pretty darn close. I've got it's working. So you know, um, excuse me. All everything's kind of coming together that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the sponsorship stuff is starting to click into place too. So anyway,
That's
um
good. Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get the rest of my who's in place for some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to be out of the job by now, but I decided that it was more important to find a couple more of the right people to sit in the
Mm-hmm.
right seats.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that brings more stability to the entire setup.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that's all rolling, and then once I can support myself on top of that, and I have enough money in the bank to support everything for a few months, that's when I'll quit working
Yeah.
full time.
Should be just a couple of months away now with
Yeah,
if
it
you
should
if you
only be a
really
few
get
months.
that, like, can you look at the stats and see how many hits do you have on that page now on the landing page? Because if you have 55 emails, and if you have anything more than 200 hits on that landing page, you really need to improve that landing page, because once you improve
Yeah.
that headline, everything changes.
Yep. It's always, let's see.
I'll be back in a minute. You get the stats.
All righty. So I looked this last week, it was 36 visits, but I mean, I've just been heads down on this stuff at work.
Sure. 36 visits
So
and how many
on the,
logins? So last week 36, but total so far? It's been 2 months of this going live, or 3?
yeah. So over the last week, we've had on the mailing list. Let me. Yeah, it looks like on the mailing list we've had a bunch put their email addresses in, but they're not coming around to put their info in on the form, because the form we had like 4 or 5.
That's fine. I mean, 55 to 33 is still pretty good. What I'm saying is out of the 36,
No, it's 74 to 36, so it's about 50%.
still good. Still good. Um, how many? So you said 36 people landed on the page, and how many people opted in to email? Give me any like period of time. It doesn't matter for last 1 month, last 1 week. Number of people who landed and number of people who opted in.
So the number of people who opted in, let's see, 1, 5, 10, 14, 15, 16, 20, 22 opted into the email
Out of?
out of 36 or 33. It says 33 unique page views.
33 page views and 22 opted in this week.
Yep.
So that's
on the email list.
That page is converting crazy.
Yeah. That's better.
That's not better. That is amazing. If you get 22 out of 33, that's like 66% conversion.
Yeah, let me make sure that it's, oh, that's all subscribers. Let me add a filter to this, make sure that it's subscribe to. Okay, that's fine. That form. Dev influencers. Add the filter. Okay, that changed the numbers 1. That changes it to 15. So that's about 40% that are opting in with their email address on that page. So yeah, that's right in line with your number. So 15 out of 33 people put their email address in on that page.
Yeah, that's perfect. 15 out of 33 is great. I wouldn't worry about it. Is this the same trend over the last 1 month? Can you look at the last 1 month and give me the data?
Yeah, here, let me date range last month. Apply. So that says 155 unique people.
Should be 60 new emails according to that stat.
Oh, this is, come on, here we go. Last 30 days. And is that filter still in place? Six plus 42, so that's 50 people out of 155. So it's about 30%.
Yeah, still not bad. I mean,
but we changed it in the middle of that.
Okay.
Or the beginning of that somewhere. I think we changed the headline.
Okay, so that's why the improvements came in. You're now Maybe it
Yeah.
was 20% and now it's up to 40%.
Something like that. Yeah. And so then if we go look at that form, so the responses,
Devinfluencers.com/apply, is it?
yeah. So then over the last week, we had 4 come in.
Well, okay, so we can improve just a little bit. Let me share my screen here. A few things I would say you can do right now to improve it. You need to remove the space.
Yeah.
It should all be sitting like you should not have to scroll down anything.
Okay.
There should be no scroll. Everything should just sit right here. This space is it's definitely hurting.
Okay.
Yeah. Become a highly paid expert in your niche. This is a different headline than what I saw last time. So yeah.
I think that's the one we settled on though,
Okay.
when we talked it all out.
Okay. So it's making sense, right? It's working because of
Yeah.
what everyone's talking about in some ways. Okay. Yeah, but you need to remove the space. This is unnecessary. It's just clogging up and it's taking up space. And also you could make the color of this box different. What I mean is make the color of the apply now button red and everything else something white or black.
Okay.
And you'll start to see more conversions just from that, the button being red.
Think so?
Yep. These are small things like colors. You people don't believe Amazon has done so much testing
Okay.
to realize that colors do get a bump in their conversions.
All right. I'll do some Googling and then I'll do some A/B testing and I'll see what colors seem to matter or seem to work.
Don't worry about A/B testing. You don't have enough traffic to work on A/B testing
Fair.
right now.
All right.
I mean, until you have like 100 people visiting that page, the A/B test doesn't really, there's not much. So if you can you can run A/B tests. It's going to take 2-3 weeks for it to complete, and then you will have the data, which is cool. Yeah, I would still do that if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do that,
sounds like more work. You're telling me not to do more work?
No, if you want to run an A/B test, I'd much rather run the headline A/B test because that's the biggest. So this is one thing I see a lot. Whenever people are running tests, you need to test the biggest movers and shakers.
No, that makes sense.
It's more like I learned from someone from Joanna. She's a copywriter. She says like breakthrough or bust. Yeah, breakthrough or bust, right? And that's what my philosophy is a lot of times when we're running tests. It's called Bob in the sense you have to go for the fences. You're swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
And that means you have to modify the elements that have the highest chances of change.
No, that makes total sense.
Right. Headline is the biggest element of change in your page right now, on your page right now.
Mm-hmm.
Change that, you should get the most improvements and conversions. Like just like if I go become a highly paid expert in your niche, start attracting bigger income and business opportunities today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you could.
Yeah, I could play with the headline, sub-headline. Yeah. Those are going to make more difference.
Yeah. That headline, like if you played with it, become a highly paid expert in your niche, become a highly paid expert in your niche. It's good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
You need to rearrange the bullets so that the most important ones show up at the top.
Yeah. We did that once already.
Okay. So I would say get a better job or go freelance based on your authority. That probably is high up there in the list of things, right?
Yeah.
Compared to even referrals from an audience who knows and trusts you or have clients come to you, right, to purchase. Yeah. You could improve these bullets a little bit, but become a highly
nobody's asking me to help them get a better job.
Nobody is?
Nope.
What are they asking for most of the times in the
Most of them are asking me to help them either become coaches or build, sell courses.
Okay. Well, that's it. So basically everyone wants to build a business.
Yep, pretty much.
That's what they are. They want to become developer entrepreneurs.
Yep. The most recent guy, he's already a freelancer. He wants to attract more business.
And they want to sell knowledge.
Yep. He wants to attract more business and he wants to attract better paying business.
Boom.
But yeah. But I can go change that stuff on that landing page real fast. That's not a big deal. But yeah, I'm ramping the Dev Influencers podcast back up. The whole boondoggle at work. Yeah, don't get me started on that. We don't have time.
And we shouldn't.
So, but yeah, my honestly, yeah, I think my whole goal here is really just to, I really do want to get that up so that I'm getting 100 200 hits on that per week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you're telling me that the conversion numbers on that are good, I'm getting 40% conversion there. I'm getting 50% conversion on the back end off of people who enter their email address to fill in the form. And that's good enough. Then yeah, I need to be converting more of those people into calls. And then I need to be getting more traffic into the front end. I think those are the two numbers I need to improve.
Yeah.
And then I need to go do follow up with all the people who I already have on my.
Your follow up is the lowest
radar.
hanging fruit in this whole equation.
I agree. I completely agree.
If
but
you
that's
just
also something that's
Yeah.
something that I can do over the next few weeks and easily run out of work on, and then just continue to do with the people that come into the funnel after that.
You can literally, with a follow up, you can probably pick up another 3 or 4 people.
I think so. But like I said, I can do that over the next few weeks and then have plumbed that line,
Yeah, I agree with that. You should assign some focus blocks for it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't assigned any focus blocks for next week yet. So guess what?
Yep. It's coming.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, so you want to do an interview for Focus Blocks promo next week?
Yeah, let's do it next week.
All right.
We'll get her in.
Let's do it.
I've got a couple of other affiliate things coming my way that I'm going to be doing some bonus episodes on, but they are of a completely different nature and I can kind of space them out depending on how they come in. So, but this is one that I think I can sell because I really believe in it. I really, really think this is something that people ought to. I don't think it's something that everybody needs, but I think it's something that everybody ought to really have a think about how it fits into where they want to go. Because if you're not progressing in your career, you need to have a serious think about, okay, I need a tool like this that's going to block time out for me. And if you're not getting the kind of focused work done for your job, then again, you need to have a serious thought process go on about how you're getting work done at work. And if you're an entrepreneur or freelancer, then this is a no-brainer. Like you just need it.
Yeah. If you're an entrepreneur or a freelancer, this is like the simplest hack for you.
Yeah.
To skyrocket your productivity, and for like less than the price of a cup of coffee a day, this is like the most important, simplest hack you can use to change your life tomorrow. Because the fun thing is, like, we have people come in and all they need to do is like 2 or 3 focus blocks and they're like, oh my God, this is what I've been looking for like, they didn't even know they were looking for something like this until they come to it and they're like, oh my God, this is nirvana. Like now I can do my work for real and become super focused and get shit done like a machine. And that's like the next level. It's like, it's so much so much fun. We can sell the hell out of this just because
Yeah.
People, like anyone who uses it, you just can't go back. You can't go back to normal work anymore.
Hmm.
That's what I've seen. Like people get
Yep.
addicted to the point where they're like, okay, well now I can't do work normally.
Yeah. One thing, I guess the people that I don't see this being valuable for, I had a couple of coworkers. I still have a couple of coworkers that I think fit this bill. But in the past, I've had coworkers where they literally wanted to show up, park their car, walk into the building, punch in. They
Yeah.
wanted to write code, go
Yeah.
get lunch with the guys, show back up, write more code, go home, and then watch TV until it was time for bed.
Yeah.
And if you want to do that and keep your job, yeah, you're not
Yeah.
going to get any value out of this, right?
Yeah. It's
But
for,
for the people that are ambitious that want to move up, yeah, you got to dedicate some time to the things that are going to get you ahead, and that's what this is going to do for you. You're going to be able to block the time out to do it.
yeah. If you want to maximize the value of every hour you live or work, then this is for you. But if you just want to
Or
clock in
even
and
a
clock out,
couple of hours, right?
yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to go grind the work grind for a while, and then I'm going to put in a couple of hours that really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, exactly. Like couple of hours of your most of your best hours.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Like if you don't really care about your career or your job or anything like that, and you just want to clock in and clock out, that this isn't really for you because you're not going to get much value from
Yeah.
clocking in and clocking out into this. But if you're serious about like, if you want to make the every hour at work count, then this is
Mm-hmm.
for you. If you want to make every hour of your entrepreneurship count, then this is for you. Like I had an interesting conversation with one of my friends. He has an agency of developers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, this is not really for us. And I was like stumped. I'm like, what? Developers not for you? What's going on? And he would like give me all these roundabout answers. He's like, yeah, but you know, our developers, they are pretty productive and this and that. I'm like, yeah, I know, I've been a developer. I know how productive I am when I'm at work with everything open with the IM and
Yeah,
Slack and
with Slack yelling at me every 2 minutes. Yeah, I
email
know
notifications
exactly
and
how productive
phone
that
and
is.
all that stuff. I know how productive your developers are. I don't believe anything you're saying. I didn't say that to him, but I was thinking out loud. I was thinking in my mind. And then I was like, so you don't need this? And then like you, oh, I see. So your developers are really productive. And so they couldn't really use a focus block of an hour through a guided focus. Like your
Yeah.
developers could not use a live online human guided deep focus work session on the hour every hour. He's like, yeah, no, not really. I think they can do their work. And then I kept on pushing, like, how is that? Like, what are you trying to tell me? Like, what's going on here? And finally, he told, like, finally, I think he wasn't trying to tell me, but he told me, he's like, yeah, we get paid by the hours our developers put in for the client work. So whatever hours they put in, it's, they're getting paid for the hour, or like
Yeah.
they're getting paid for the hour. So it's not like we're trying to squeeze the juice out of our developers. I'm like,
Right.
oh, yeah, you're one of
Yeah.
those. Like you've got an agency, you're getting paid by the hour, so you don't care about the value of your hour because the client gets what
Right.
work they get
Yeah.
out of your
We
hour.
don't we don't care if that hour is them writing code or configuring their IDE or sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, we don't care if that hour is like them slacking on Slack or IM or
Mhm.
Facebook or Twitter or Instagram
Yeah.
or writing code. They don't care about that part. And I'm like, that makes sense. Now it
Yeah.
makes total sense. Your agency doesn't really care to provide high quality work to your, or doesn't really care to provide high quality work for the dollar per hour
Yeah.
of work being
It
done.
just
So
has to be good enough to not get fired by the client.
exactly. So that makes sense. He wasn't trying to say that out loud, but I finally got it out of him. And I'm like, okay, yeah. It's not for you. If you don't care to maximize the value of your time, this shit ain't for you.
Yeah.
Then it's a waste of time. All right, let's
Yeah,
wrap
but
it up,
see,
man. Yeah.
yeah, but that's the deal. That's where I'm at, right? Is I'm going and I'm clocking in at the full-time job. And so the 3 hours I get in the morning around working out and my personal, uplift before I start my day, I have to maximize that time. And so it's
Exactly.
critically valuable to me.
Exactly. For any of us, especially entrepreneurs who want to maximize every freaking hour that we live,
Mhm.
this is like crucial tool
Yep.
for long-term productivity and for your own health and well-being, because
Yep.
you know that if you do 6 or 8 focus blocks a day, you're done. You won't need, if you do 6 focus blocks a day, your work will be done as an entrepreneur. You'll be like, shit,
Yeah.
I got shit done. Now I can go and enjoy my day.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I think last week, it's a dual pronged approach, right? It's you put in getting the stuff done that you have to do, and then it's having the who's to take care of the rest, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so as long as you're smart about pulling in the right people
Yeah.
to take on the stuff, right, that you don't have to uniquely do.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, there's not a whole lot in most businesses that the entrepreneur uniquely has to do,
Yeah.
but there are parts of it that you either uniquely enjoy or that are kind of your zone of genius that make the business tick because you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that you're doing. And
Yeah.
then everything else you have a who for.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that the rest of it, that's what you're putting your focus blocks in on.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just been empowering. I mean, it's hiring people sucks. Let's just face it kind of sucks.
Sure. It's a
I mean,
tough job.
I like talking to people. It's fun, it's nice, and and I do enjoy that part of it, but it also sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if we're diving into thoughts,
Yeah.
um I've been reading this Who Not How, and I've been getting really clear. Okay, look, this is the outcome. This is this is who I need to do it. This is what I'm after. So the other thing that I did, and I don't know if I talked about this last week because I can't remember if I did it last week, but I sat down with Michaela, who is my kind of virtual assistant. She kind of was taking on like all the things, right? And I just said, look, I said, you're going to be in charge of podcast production. I said, this is what I need. I said, I need us to be 4 episodes ahead, recorded on every show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 4 weeks ahead is what I said, which means for dev influencers, that's like 28 episodes, right? Because I want it to be a daily show, right? And that means that she's writing my ass to get stuff recorded, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. And I told her that too. I said, look, that means that sometimes you're going to be on my rear end to get stuff done. And that's recorded, prepped, everything, right? It may not be edited. We may not know who the sponsors are going to be 4 weeks ahead, right? Because we may still be selling those. Hopefully, we're going to be selling that stuff too, but 4 weeks ahead, but we may not know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's gotta be ready to go, 4 weeks ahead. And then I said, and we need hosts filled on all the shows. I said, if we get there by the end of the summer, you get a raise, right? Because it's worth it to me, right?
Yeah.
Because you're filling that and I don't have to worry about it. And that means that all that work is off my plate. I don't have to hire somebody to go worry about it. I don't have to put in the time to do it. I said, so yeah, you get a raise from what I'm paying you to this. And she was like, all right, done. And boy, she's been going at it, man. She's
By the way,
she's
I gotta
added,
go in 1 minute, so I gotta
okay.
run it.
But that's the thing. So that's my thought is, be very clear with the who's about what they're taking on and what their role is, so that you then know what you're the who for.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. Who Not How. It's a great book. Highly recommend it. My thought is that as we're talking today with Chuck
I
about
found
the
my book.
focus blocks, it's focus is the ultimate currency of the knowledge economy in some ways, right? People who can focus and get shit done will always win compared to people who are distracted and all over the place. So that's why basically focus blocks exist today. So I'm super excited to get this out. But yeah, everyone out there, you need to focus a lot more to get ahead in your business, in your career, in your life, whatever that might be for you. But focus and you'll see the results.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.